going to be a bumpy ride.
Chrissie is hilarious.
Chrissie, have you ever heard of the comedian Basha K. Ali?
No, that sounds like something you yell out before you blow up a plane.
30 seconds remaining.
But you know what, good to say I dabbled in stand-up to something. I haven't been disrespectful to you at all.
I was very confused by the title, Everything Everywhere All at Once, because that's also what we call it when Ash takes off his shirt.
I shouldn't be up here. I should be in school on the other side of the ocean.
Good morning, boys and girls. I had to push the button. Woo! It is Tuesday, January 31st. Welcome to Mayr in the Morning. So much internet has happened since I was last with you guys. I think my last proper stream, was it Friday? Was it Thursday? Holy cow. So much has happened. We have to catch up. Yes, in honor of our favorite internet subject, I am wearing this blue top. Woo! Tuesdays really do feel like my Monday because I have Simcast. Oh, yeah. Simcast was the last time we were all together. Simcast was like 5 hours and 15 minutes. It was a long one. We had Anthony Cumia on, April Imholt, Julia Song. I think Lila and Nina jumped on. It's hard to keep track. It's nice. We had Faran on. People were coming and going, but we talked about this stuff for like 5 hours. And then it was Wet Spot last night at Compound Media. I had Zhao Ying Summers, Sky Pierce, and Opal Castle. And Sky and Opal are like adult film stars. And we had a caller calling about the Eliza stuff, but we really didn't get too deep into it. I think because just if you don't know the backstory, it's a lot to explain. So I'm not going to just like sit there and explain it to 3 people who are like, ugh. So it's okay. You know, you don't have to talk about we don't have to talk about Eliza every day, do we? No, we do. It's a hot internet topic. So now it's Tuesday, which feels really like my Monday because I'm like, okay. I start to get myself collected. Wow, so much has happened since we last talked about the Eliza Bleu stuff. As of right now, Brittany Venti is still suspended, blocked. What words are we using to describe what's going on with her? She's still suspended from her Twitter. The Quartering is back on Twitter. It's not clear if he deleted the tweet in question, which, gave him back his access to his account. But he, if that's the case, that's his choice. He was off for a good week, 9 days, 10 days or something. So it probably, I can understand it probably got to a point where he's like, all right, I need to be back on Twitter. Like I've made my point. I've pointed out how bullshit the censorship rules are right now. So he's back on his account. 254 followers. Woo, he just hit 254. Congrats, Germs. He did a huge thread on Eliza. I think Brittany, she's definitely still locked out. So she hasn't been able to tweet anything in 11 days now since the 20th. So Quartering, of course, while he was suspended from Twitter, he was busy doing research and compiling this thread, which he posted immediately upon returning to Twitter. And this is just an update to catch everybody up on what's been going on. Sorry to keep you waiting. Complicated business, complicated to celebrate my return. I would like to announce a first installment of the Eliza Bleu Files, a multi-part series. And then he goes through, oh my God. He's pissed. He's definitely pissed because, he's been off Twitter for 10 something days. I'm sure it's hurt his business. And his precious coffee brand coffee has not been able to probably sell as many Valentine's box orders as he would like. Part one, I like that he calls Eliza a clout goblin, infiltrated Twitter trust and safety with lies and used them to ban critics. Now, there have been quite a few Twitter spaces going on in the last couple days. Is it better? Do you guys want more of me or more of the article? Gosh, I was on a Twitter space last night until probably 2 a.m. That's why I woke up feeling kind of like gurgly and gay because I was like, man, I just feel like this last week I'm up late every single night learning about what's going on. I feel like everyone's glued to this story. And I guess this guy Nathan was running the Twitter space last night, and it's cool. I feel like I've made some new acquaintances through this story just because you see the same people in the Twitter space and you end up following each other. Okay, I sent the link out to a couple of people. Maybe Tree of Logic will jump on. Maybe Fair and Balanced will jump on. Welsh is depressed. We're all depressed. We're all Fealty still banned, still suspended from Twitter. He tweeted something. God damn it. They're getting us all. Fealty was not on any Twitter spaces since I am still banned. Unbelievable. Okay, Faran is messaging me. Okay. Wowie. All right. There's so much to cover. Let me briefly scroll through this quartering thread here. So he's pissed. Many of you are aware that dozens of YouTube creators, investigative reporters, and critics in general have been either banned or locked out of their Twitter accounts in the last 10 days. You've been hearing way too much about one particular name, Eliza Bleu. Here's why. And then he goes through all of the different names that she's had in the past few years. Eliza Morthland, her real name, her dad is an Illinois politician, Richard Morthland. She's gone by Seep, Cut, Nose, Blue. We've all heard about the different nicknames. She's chased fame her whole life, and we can tell this from her involvement in the My Chemical Romance scene to that clip of her on the Steve Harvey show doing a booty roll. I mean, clearly that's Tyra Banks trafficking her to the Steve Harvey show. I mean, what other explanations could we have? And she was on the Blind Date dating show. She appeared in no less than 4 rap videos as a video vixen. Here's where things get spicy. In just under 2 weeks ago, one particular video resurfaced on the internet. One of at least 4 known rap videos that starred Eliza Bleu, a video that has been on YouTube for over 6 years. And I'm all for remaking yourself over, mixing things up, trying new things, evolving, etc. But if you're going to remake yourself into a sex trafficking spokesperson and your music videos make you feel nervous about your past, like, go ahead and get rid of those videos first before starting a new persona. But what do I know? I've just had this old same persona my whole life. She didn't bother to take down this World Star Hip Hop video until 6 years later when Venti finally decides to tweet about it. Little sussy. Eliza Bleu immediately leveraged her deep connections at Twitter. This is the part of the problem that people are very concerned about, is her deep connections at Twitter. That is the part that takes this from a small, maybe gossipy story to very much a worldwide issue that concerns censorship. What the new Twitter is about. It seems that Twitter is like now making TOS up on the spot. They're posting the Ella Irwin lady is posting almost at the same time as Eliza. It just seems to be pretty coordinated that they are talking with one another. Boo! I'm blue, da ba dee da boo da 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 da. Gonna do something else. Eliza Bleu immediately leveraged her deep connections at Twitter to begin locking out anyone who posted the publicly available video, claiming it was non-consensual. Twitter head of trust and safety publicly backed her numerous times. The only problem is here she lied. She was excited about the video, as we've all seen. She's begged World Star to produce the video. She was paid. She pitched it to them, like we've covered on past streams. She not only emailed World Star, but found the CEO's Instagram, hit him up personally on his personal account to try to work out this deal. So she went after this hard. To me, it doesn't look like human trafficking, but what the hell do I know? I'm just a mild-mannered comedian podcaster. But here's this clip of her being like,
Young G.
like I'm
Easy.
I think I've played this before. I was
2 Chainz. Migos.
2 Chainz.
Rich Homie Quan. Like, on that World Star video, I was a size 8. And I still would have classified as a World Star, as a plus size model. That's what's crazy with the world, is that I still would have been plus even in that World Star video. And
it was like totally my idea. And then you see her on a podcast a couple years later. Well, hello, this is a very difficult problem. I guess it's called having a range in the acting world. We call it having a range.
I look at that now and I'm like, dang, I was so skinny, but it was a summer and I almost.
All right, this is basically her being like, oh, it was all my idea. I was so happy to see it come through. I was so blessed. I almost pissed myself to be around this Red Dragon camera. When I see fancy cameras, I want to piss myself. I'm so blessed. And then she basically names every rapper she knows. He worked with 2 Chainz, 3 Chainz, 4 Chainz, and he worked with little old me. When he could have been working with all the Chainz. Now I'm going to bring on a very close friend of mine, very, very much deep in the Eliza mud of the past 10 days. I feel like I see her and talk to her like every day, multiple times a day. It's Faran.
I know, right?
Oh,
it's like fucking.
God.
Oh God.
We're all.
Shit.
I should be wearing sunglasses too. That's how I feel.
The lights are so bright right now.
Were you drinking last night? Because you were on the Twitter space very composed. No, okay.
No, God, no. Can I just tell you something though, really quick?
Yes.
So I got in a fight with Cassandra, Tim's assistant secretary.
Was this before or after she called you the dollar store Nancy Grace?
Well, we got in a fight before, but then she blocked me and then called me dollar store Nancy Grace. And I was like, bitch, I'm at least like Target level. Okay. First of all. Second of all, man. I am the biggest Nancy Grace fan. So like that fell on deaf ears. Okay.
It's a compliment. She's well known. Let's get a picture of Nancy Grace up here. First of all,
go to my Twitter. I have her greatest hits.
First of all, if anything, you're a younger, thinner Nancy Grace.
But I am sorry. Do you understand when Casey Anthony had her baby for 31 days, she was out clubbing with everyone else, got a tattoo named Bella Vita, and this woman you're going to tell me did not kill her baby? I mean, you guys, like, seriously, like, challenge me on Nancy Grace. I dare you.
There's so much. I don't even know. See, I'm blocked from Eliza, so I can't even bring up her tweets. But that's why you're here, because I'm trying to catch people. Oh, here we go. 125 for inflation.
I made that graphic last night.
My word. Look at this. All right, your memes could use a little help, Faran, but we need you to focus on your important documentary.
Girl, I am the Dollar General dollar store Nancy Grace, and you're gonna tell me my graphics need help?
I'm here asking the hard questions.
Yeah, exactly. Watch this gangbanger drive through the traffic and jump. Oh God, he's gonna jump through the fence. That's my favorite ultimate Nancy Grace, by the way, where she literally narrates a black guy speeding up away from the cops, gets out of the car, jumps up over a fence, and she calls him a gangbanger. And she's like, oh, he's going to jump. Yep. He's jumping over the fence. I mean, like the narration is just beyond like Joe Madden. Beyond.
Better comparisons. Like when you're a redhead, the comparisons are pretty horrible. Like when people lash out at me, they call me like Shaun White. There's just not as many redheaded icons to choose from. So
I was gonna think like, oh,
snowboarding fame.
Fuck you, Annie. That sun'll come out tomorrow.
Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow. They're gonna strike me for copyright. See, Shaun White had to he got too much shit for being a redhead, and then he had to kind of move away from that hair color. He had to cut his hair. But this is what my hair used to,
my red hair.
Yeah, this is what people come at with me when they're upset with me on the internet. I go, all right, sorry, I gotta hit the slopes. I don't have time for this bullshit.
I would have been like, yeah, and where's your deep conditioning treatment? Because my hair looks fucking good.
Where's your sponsorship?
Yeah.
L'Oreal
don't like you, bitch.
So I'm trying to catch people up, Faran, on everything that's happened in the last couple of days. Quartering got his account back. Yeah, Quartering got his account back. We don't know if it's because he deleted the tweets in question or they just plucked him out and said, all right, you're a big account. We're going to unban you. But he is still banned on Twitter. A lot of other smaller accounts are still banned. But who knows for what? And here's the thing is people have to know when you are looking into a story like this, you have to be smart. You can't constantly tag the person because it can look like harassment pretty quickly, and you don't want to be doing good work and then get banned for harassment or something stupid that didn't have to look like harassment. It's just you talking about a thing. But you know what I mean? Some people can be weaselly and sneaky. And again, we've learned that new Twitter is all about filling out the right paperwork, filling out the right forms. So if you quote, fill out the right form and you have a case for somebody's harassment, like, basically when you report them, they go, oh, what are some tweets that correlate with this? And if they're able to point to 5 to 10 tweets adding them, then Eliza does have a strong case for harassment. I don't know if that's why all these other accounts got suspended from Twitter. But again, it's like you have to be smart. That's why when I'll post something, I'll be like, oh, does this look like sexual exploitation to you? And it's just a clip and I won't even mention her name because at this point, everyone knows what we're talking about. So there's been a Twitter space, I feel like the last 2 or 3 nights in a row, and there's a lot of people involved. There's that guy Nathan who I don't really know. I mean, really, it's like
so Nathan and Greg, they're both investigative journalists on the research team, and then Damien is also there, but he hasn't been able to make it the last 2 nights because he's actually been the one night he was actually sitting down with Eliza's father, and that's when he came out with the tweet about how Eliza's father was going to give him an off-the-record interview as long as he took down his previous article. And we all were like, no, like, that's not how this works. So normally though, I mean, there's like a group, I want to say, of like 4, at least 4 of us investigative journalists where we're kind of all over the country. But, and then also Kit Cabello as well of Hardlands Media in Chicago, where he's been looking at where she lived in Chicago. She said she grew up in the ghetto.
Bitch, she's from the Chi. She's from the Chi, Faran.
No, she grew up in the Quad Cities. And when she said that she grew up in the ghetto, she lived in the Gold Coast, like in her early 20s, which I think probably was like either funded from her father or somebody else, which is a really ritzy area in Chicago. But she was telling people on a radio show that she grew up in the ghetto and that she had to have her mattress on the floor so that she would like dodge bullets. And I was like, what rapper have I heard that from? And I was like, I think Kanye said that in one song.
Wow.
Yeah. It's very weird.
I had a mattress on the floor briefly, but because I couldn't afford like an actual bed. It was like my first apartment. And that was maybe for like a couple weeks. And then I got it together. I found the funds.
Oh no, this was because of the bullet holes. And mind you, when you go to like the different locations of actually where she lived, they're all like in high rises and they're all like on the 10th floor and shit.
But
You're just
maybe the
like,
bullets
okay,
can go
okay.
up 10 floors. Maybe that's
The DC sniper went to Chicago for the Chicago snipe. I mean, it's just like whatever. Okay, cool.
wow. And I know I'm getting the sense from these spaces and seeing tweets that people are very frustrated when they don't see certain content creators talking about this story. And I don't think anybody no matter how big or small, has like do what you want. It's your channel, it's your show. I'm somebody who likes to feel like on the pulse of what people are talking about. I felt obligated because I had her on 4 times and she banned a very good friend of mine. And in fact, she did an episode with Venti.
Yeah.
So I just was like, yeah, let's, and I want to go back and re-listen to these episodes and see if I can, because I wasn't suspect of her at all. So it can happen to anybody. We all sort of fell for it. But it's interesting, and like in these Twitter spaces, people are talking about, oh, this could be a psyop. She could be a plant. She was put here to. I mean, it starts making me depressed when I start thinking about like a person being a psyop or planted or MK Ultra or like she's a politician's daughter who was placed into this industry to delegitimize sex and human trafficking so that it could continue to go on. And I'm like, all right, I don't know.
That's where I'm like, all right, everybody needs to take a fucking shot. Let's just bring it back to like the ground level.
Go outside, take a breath of fresh air, open a window, stick your head out.
Because I even messaged Nathan. I was like, I am not going to co-sign to this conspiracy shit, because here's the bottom line too, is that Eliza was actually able to bring in a lot of QAnon followers to her movement, or like, during that time, because of remember she
the tunnels
the tunnels, all that. But she did her whole sex trafficking stuff like in March of 2020 at the height of when COVID started, and that's kind of when QAnon like took shape. And so she's got, and even her assistant Amanda has tweeted about how these people are like so easily brainwashed. And that's where I was like, Nathan, like, I'm not doing this. Like, keep it surface level. Like, we're good.
Also, the bigger this gets, the more people are going to look to, like, if someone particularly hates me or hates you, they could be looking for opportunities to like get in there and get us to say something that's libelous or can delegitimize your whole doc or everything that we're talking about. And so that's something to be wary of too.
That's why I said, like, the entire time I was like, censorship. And so here was the crazy part of like where like this whole fight started. So my friend Samira had another Twitter Spaces going, and they were talking about Israel, Palestine. Yeah, Israel, Palestine, all that stuff. However, then like I guess her Twitter Spaces like ran out of time. So this girl, Lisa Elizabeth, started a Twitter Spaces, and it was like talking about everything but what that Spaces talked about, in reference to Samira's Twitter space. Okay. However, Cassandra, who had just been trolling a bunch of people, including myself.
Why though? I don't understand why.
Well, and mind you too, like, fucking coward. She blocked me for it. She blocked me first and then was talking shit, which like I can take it. Like I could like, don't unblock me. Like I said, like I'm willing to change my profile to Nancy Grace. Like,
you're Nancy fucking Grace. You can handle
Nancy
it.
Fucking Grace. Yeah. So like, but yeah, so she blocked me, and then like she retweets the Twitter space, and she like has like this like emoji where it's like, like that, like, And so I was like, oh, so not only is she like being a coward and talking shit about me, now they're starting a Twitter space. So then, like, my friend Samira is like, hey, come on in and like talk. And I'm like, no, bitch, like, this is a setup.
You felt like you might have been set up.
Oh, for sure. But then I find out, like, I had talked to Lisa, and she was like, honestly, she was like, it wasn't like that at all. And I was like, well, let me tell you something. I was like, the way that Cassandra tweeted it out, she knew what she was doing. You were in the crossfires. Because she's like, because Lisa was like, I got my own drama. Like, I'm done. And I was like, yeah, but at the same time, like Cassandra, and here's the problem is, and like Cassandra, like, ring a ding ding, like, listen, like, no hate, no disrespect.
to
Like
myself.
I get that you're gonna like represent your girl. I understand that. But like you can't put your friends like Twitter space and stuff like that into the crossfires, because not just me saw that, like everybody saw that. And then Lisa started getting a whole bunch of hate. So then she messages me and she's like, I'm getting all this hate because you retweeted it and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'll delete it. I will make it clear. You know, I was like, but no offense, your friend kind of fucked you over, like by doing that kind of shit. And she said, she's like, yeah, I mean, she's like, you're kind of right. And I was like, you know, your friend is talking shit about people. Then, you know, she talks shit and then she blocks people. I was like, that's kind of a puss move. You know, if you got something to say it to my face, you know.
It
I have
just
no
seems
problem.
like it's a distraction from the real issue. And of course, like
Exactly.
there I get it. People are going to be friends with Eliza. They're gonna feel defensive of her if somebody who's booked her on a show, like even me, you know, at first you feel defensive of like, oh God, like do I just have a shitty judge of guests? And of all the,
Right.
you know, Timcast is still, I think, a very reputable show. They've done thousands of episodes, and even myself, I've done 550 episodes. I've only had like 2 grifters on. I'd say that's not bad. I'd say that's not
Yeah.
that's pretty decent. And most people don't have to be like, you know, clearly vetted, because when you're thinking of having somebody on your show, like you are checking out their stuff and kind of quietly researching them for weeks or months or whatever. So like most people don't require this kind of a deep dive.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand people are frustrated. People are wanting Timcast to speak on it. I think it's not fair that people are bringing their unresolved issues over Jack Murphy to this now Eliza Bleu thing.
Oh yeah,
People are,
like for
you know,
example, like this Cassandra girl. Like people were like, why are you dissing on Faran? And she's like, she called for my firing. And I was like, oh, blow it out your ass. Like what I said is that you should be able to move guests around. You were able to move Crowder around. Why don't you bring on Brittany Venti? And all she said is no thanks. And I was like, I was like, if you were a network producer, you would get fired. And she goes, well, thank God you're not my news anchor. And I finally responded. I was like, well, thank God you're not my producer. That was all that I said, because that literally is the way that it is. You know, like if you have a bias as a producer, you're gone. They don't tolerate that.
But yet
shit.
human beings have bias. It's like kind of
right. But I mean,
it's kind of impossible not to have bias, but I just don't think there should be as much of like showing your hand in terms of like your personal relationship.
Especially on Twitter. Especially on Twitter. And
yeah,
that's where she started getting nasty with people, but then she tried to turn it around and play like the little Puss in Boots, like, oh, she was mean to me and called me for to get fired. And I was like, blow it out your ass. That's not what I said. I said that you weren't doing your job. And you're like, you called me for to get fired. I said, no, I said you weren't doing your job ethically. That's what I said. And that's where you get some of these little assholes where it's like, don't put words into my mouth. No, don't do that shit.
And we're all, you know, we don't have to, this could be a phone call. You know, me and Faran could be called on the phone right now, but it's like, we choose to do this. We're both a public figure, even, you know, because Cassandra, even though she's a booker, she's also a public figure. You have a Twitter account. Anyone who's tweeting, you know, you're basically, I guess, a public figure. If you have any type of show or involvement with a popular show, you know, even kind of frank to a degree. So it's like when you make your opinions public, that means you are now open to criticism, and
you're compromised. You're compromised.
People, you know, I get criticized. Everyone gets criticized. So I think it is a distraction from the real issue, which is like, okay, and we have no control over who covers it and who doesn't. It's like, I can just do the best that I can. Faran's doing the best that she can.
And well, and then here's the other thing that like kind of pissed me off is she's like, you know, oh, you know, it looks like that. It looks like this was the reason that she couldn't make it on RT. First of all, bitch. Okay.
Oh, you're so mad.
Well, no, because here's the bottom line. The fact that you think that I didn't make it at RT also shows that you don't know your facts. So again, I'm already questioning your booking like mentality as well. Again, like where I said, like if you're not gonna not be biased, you shouldn't do this job. Anyway, so I was like, no, I started in 2019 and I ended until I was all the way there until the week we got shut down, where I was the primetime news anchor. I had a booker, I had a line producer, and both of and mind you, I work with both men, very different than working with women. And this is no offense to women, but like I told
No,
both
women
of them.
suck.
Okay, thank you. I don't want to say it, but I mean, but my booker, I said I was like, we had Ben Crump, I had Gloria Allred, I had from the likes of you name it, Jimmy Dore, all these different people, and I said I was like, I don't ever want it where that they ever feel like I have a bias towards something or like I don't want to book them, because I want every voice to be open. The minute that you say no thanks to somebody, you look like a bitch and you look like you have a bias. And I'm sorry, like when that's it's one thing to say it on the phone like sorry, no thanks, but to put it in writing on Twitter, you declared your bias. And that's my problem.
Yeah, you have to look when it's one thing if you're an online personality, you're an opinion person, you're a pundit, you're whatever, you're a talking head. I don't know if that's like what we do more so, but when your job is publicly out of the spotlight, I think because I've worked in corporate America for like years before switching to this full time, it is better when you don't show your emotions. You do have to maintain a level of professionalism when you are not known for your spicy takes, and maybe sometimes people feel caught between like I wonder, there's probably a lot of emotions going on. People feel like they need to defend their friend, but again, like we have like you have control. That's why I was like, Faran, you just keep your head down, keep working hard like you're doing. I mean, this documentary is going to blow people away. You're really getting in there. You're doing a deep dive. You're covering the topic of sex and human trafficking generally to show how important it is. So not just Eliza, the holes in Eliza's story and her background, but just that this is a topic. This is something to take very seriously, and the people who are actually working to help victims, should be applauded and praised.
Right.
And it's just interesting because now people have been sending me screenshots of Eliza's. Has she blocked you yet, Faran?
No.
People have been sending.
No.
That's great. People have been sending me screenshots, and I'm like, okay, she's tweeting again. Like she's tweeting more. She was tweeting all last night. So remember we've been saying it'll get to a tipping point where it's unavoidable.
I was doing recordings last night, and I was watching her tweets come in, and I was just like, this is manic. This is truly manic. Like,
yeah. Oh, Tree is here.
Tree!
I don't know if Tree wants to be on camera or not, but
no.
Okay.
I had just woke up. I was like, and my alarm didn't even go off.
Oh no.
Oh.
So we were just telling people just catching people up that Jeremy got his Twitter account back. There's been a couple of late night Twitter spaces about this topic.
Okay, what no one is answering for me is, did he delete tweets or did they approve his appeal?
I mean, I'm going to assume that he deleted the tweets, but okay.
I'm going to assume the same thing because the fact that he didn't say it, because if his appeal was approved, he would have like, yeah, they approved my appeal. They better let it, It sounds to me that he went on and conceded and deleted the tweets. And so he can come back onto the platform.
Which I understand that. He's proved his point. Like at a certain point, like it's not going to do him any good. Like, I don't know. I just think he's kind of too important and too involved to just like stay banned. It's like, okay, you were banned for a week plus. Everyone, you know what I mean? I don't know. I understand him deleting it just to come back to talk about these issues because now it's gone.
I will give him credit because he came back even though he deleted him. He came back and did a double punch to the face.
That he did the whole thread.
Yeah, he did the thread.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, And she started tweeting last night Faran. Girl, hold on a second. Chrissy, how about Faran? Like, I can't participate in the Twitter space because I don't have the app. So I can't raise my hand. I can't if you give me speaker, I'm not able to.
Wait, it's not on your phone?
No, if you don't download the Twitter app to participate in the Twitter space, you can't use the functions. That's the reason why Brian Straka and a lot of people are I didn't learn that till later.
Oh, Brandon. Okay, yeah, Brandon Straka was in there.
Yeah, it was a lot of important people that was in there. They probably
BFF
don't
now,
even know
by the
that you
way.
got to download the Twitter app in order to use the Twitter space on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then when that I'm not going to shame anybody, but when the homegirl like, we just need to leave her alone because she's a narcissist, I was like ready to throw my monitor out the window. Like, what the hell are you talking about?
Again, the bigger this gets and the more people that are jumping into the spaces, the more you're going to have just bad takes and people that are not super involved. Because it's like, that's good advice if you're dealing with like an ex-boyfriend or a narcissist or a sociopath. Like, yes, you do want to ignore them. But like, this is so past that. This is so beyond that.
Way past that.
Especially all the hours of editing. And like somebody was like, this isn't Faran's documentary. It's the I-Team's documentary. Yes, there's a group of investigative journalists, but at the same time, I am the one that's doing the storyboarding. I'm the one that's doing the editing. I mean, I'm working with the composers. There's a lot of shit that I'm doing. That's why I was up at like 3:00 in the morning doing a recording because I was doing from the composing. But like at the same time, it is a bunch of us that are all doing it. But at the same time, I mean, like I'm doing the final editing and what have you. But it definitely is a community effort, which I think has been so fun to see in the sense of a group of people being like, we're all rallying around censorship. Because I think, and that's why I kept like, reiterating in the space, like a lot of people think that we just want to go after her to like, call her a whore or call her a porn star.
No.
That's why the one guy was like, oh, she called herself a prostitute. And I was like, do you have confirmation? And he was like, well, I think in the video. And I was like, well, think doesn't count. Sorry, dude.
Right.
But like, but it's one of these things where I said, even if she was, I don't care. It's the fact that there's an abuse of power used to censor people. And that's cool.
That's what we have to focus on. Like I understand the impulse, especially I've done like roast battles. I want to clap back at people, especially on Twitter. It's like if someone comes after me, I very much feel that impulse. So I know you're probably feeling that, Faran, but it's like that's all a distraction, and that is something that people who don't like you can use later on to discredit you and be like, oh, look how emotional, look at her responses, instead of you just being like, that's irrelevant. I'm just gonna keep working.
Right.
And you just don't want to give people
Faran, like kudos to you the way you handle that, because I was like, you handled that better than I did, because I was like, I would have came up with like, I will never let a gazelle tell a lioness how to do her killing.
Well, I mean, when I was, here's the bottom line, okay? Like when I've already gone like 2.5 miles around the track, and then you're just telling me to give up, like that doesn't work for me, because I'm already a sprinter. So when you're telling me to go the distance and I've already done 2 laps, it's just not going to work for me. And that's where I was just like, no, I'm sorry, I'm not giving up. And then I did try to like make the point though too. It was like, if it's not her, then who else? And I was like, and look, already Ella Irwin, she's the next one. Like you can't just like sit by and think, that, oh, well, they want to see their name in lights. No, actually they don't. I think that's why they're freaking out. That's why they had to meet with Tim Pool and everybody, or the team, because they were freaking out because they, and mind you folks, okay, Media 101, meet with the media before the story comes out, before all the different stories come out, so that you control the narrative. However, when it comes to the narrative, and then when it comes to the truth, like what the hell is in the timeline, that's hard to control, because facts are facts. And I'm actually going to be very interested to see. Well, I was just saying, I'm going to be very interested to see what exactly this article is supposed to shed light on, because from what I've seen in her tweets, she's all about, it's the January is human trafficking survivor advocacy. But then every other tweet is about her. And I'm like, where are the survivors in any of your freaking tweets? Where are they?
I've never seen them. I never seen that one. Here's my question.
And, you would think people would come out now and be like, okay, everyone's talking shit about Eliza. She's really helped me. I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, I don't see it either. Why did Red Star delete their article that they wrote on her? Why did they do that? Why did they
because there was
quote unquote unpublished the article?
Hang on.
Is it Red State?
Oh, sorry, Red State. Thank you. Sorry. Why did Red State? Why did Red State? Why did the journalist who published the article that she did on Eliza quote unquote unpublished the article and removed it from the site?
They scrubbed the piece on Eliza because they were threatened with a temporary ban
from Twitter.
Dang.
No.
Yep.
How do you know that?
I have friends there.
Okay.
The media world is very, very small. And I just texted my girlfriend.
With a temporary ban from Twitter. So Red State would have been banned from Twitter if they hadn't deleted the whole article.
Yep.
This is you're thwarting journalism at this point, because
that was actually worse than Hunter Biden.
Well,
at least New York Post, though. Well, here's the thing. At least New York Post was able to keep their article out there. Red State, they were told to take the entire article down.
Interesting. And when I go onto Red State, their website, and just search Eliza Bleu, this is the most. So I search her name. This is the most recent article that comes up from December 13th. No, I don't want to join VIP.
I have the archive if you guys want it. I made sure I had an archive of that article before it was
and the author did a great job as keeping it very unbiased. She did a great job. She did a great job. And Tug did know that, Angela. Tug actually was one of the first people to you're saying as far as why.
What the fuck? I don't want to join VIP. Help. Why? Why can't I just bring him an article? I don't know what to ad block.
Man, conservatives.
All right,
dude.
Fucking Red State. All right, well, just believe me that the last article that came up was December 13th, and so that's full blown censorship. We have from Matthew Hammond. Thanks for the super chat. Did you hear about the upcoming Shane Cashman of Timcast Eliza Bleu expose? According to an inside source I have, it is going to be enlightening. So I guess Shane Cashman is a journalist who works for Timcast. I guess he's going to cover this issue. They were spotted together in a photo. So it's now
here's the point where I guess of it is that here she puts out on her Twitter that he's been spending days with her.
Days.
Number one. Yeah, in her tweet. She says, "Thanks for spending the past few days with me." Number one.
Why days?
Honestly, she's flexing her poom poom. This is what she's doing. This is what she's good at. She's like, look, I got a man. You see how I'm good with men. Your powers are nothing against me. Like,
mind you, he's married.
She's flexing.
Mind you, he's married.
Flexing.
Yeah, I wouldn't say she's very good at alluding to certain things. Like she's good at vague posting. Right. Oh, you spent days with me, which means like, who knows what that could mean.
Well, and that's what she does. And like, but here's the other thing is like, spending the past few days, there is a source that I have talked to that has told me that this is her MO, that she talks to men, that she finds a way to get them in what's the word?
Hard?
No. Compromising situations. And then if they don't do what she wants, she uses it against them and will tell their wives.
Oof.
And that's where well, there was the one. So here's the bottom line. Here was where the groundwork was laid. Okay, because I know bitches like this. Let's be fucking real. Tree, you know me. Chrissy, you probably know me too. Okay, like she's on the podcast the second time that she's with Tim Cass, and this guy's there, Shane, and she is openly flirting with him on camera. And now, and after she meets him, she's kissing ass on Twitter. He's just so amazing, and he's gonna really make movements and blah 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 blah, right? And then, she goes, he goes to do this story about her, and then she starts putting this, oh, for the last couple of days and da 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 da. I mean, she literally is a fucking sociopath.
Well, here's something.
It's one thing to say I've been working. I'm being interviewed by a journalist. Like you say that, or you can say Shane Cashman has been spending a few days with me. It's like
no, see when it's a female journalist, she'll tell people like what she did with Katie Herzog on my channel, where I or on my tweets where I showed the audio where she treats her like a piece of shit because she asks her, hey, can you go into your story a little bit? And she treats her like the scum of the earth because she's a female. But when it's a guy, he is just, he's going to make movements.
Rude. She was so rude to Katie Herzog. And Katie, I feel like is a liberal. It wasn't, I don't know. I didn't seem like it was going to be like a gotcha. And I think she just asked her one question about her backstory and she freaked out, and she did the whole thing where she put her into an emotional state where she felt like she had to be defensive. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, like gets you to a place where you're apologizing for like stepping on toes or triggering somebody, that which gets you into an emotional state. And Faran, you put that I think in one of your trailers or clips. If you get
I put it at the end of the clip, yeah,
right, you get it to where you're, and this is a manipulative woman thing, you get someone to a place where they're only dealing with you on an emotional state, and then logic is taken out. It's not about the facts anymore. It's about you triggered me. This is why the whole pronoun thing is taking off, because you can manipulate people and switch up the power dynamics without having to be right or accurate or make a good point. And that's like kind of what she's doing. Like she clearly triggered Katie into this defensive, like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, you have a survivor on the phone and you asked them to talk about their trauma. And it's like she wasn't asking anything crazy, and then she wouldn't even let her speak for the rest of it.
See,
and that's another tactic.
You have to steamroll someone. I will say something, and I was talking about that on my stream when we were looking at Eliza's interview, and so I began to like take my involvement out of it and just watch her demeanor, watch her eye movement, and I said, holy shit, she's actually practicing the art of seduction when she's talking with the men. But when she talk with the women, and if they're on a friendly terms and they will basically, they will not be confrontational, that goes well. She's more bubbly, charismatic, like jolly. But if any woman, because to this day, and if I'm wrong, please someone send me the link. But to this day, I haven't seen a man push back until this journalist. And so when someone is determined to get the truth, then she starts using emotional manipulation to make that person feel guilty, and actually like embarrass them. Like, how dare you talk to I'm an emotional survivor about my abuse. And let me and I said, have you ever noticed any advocate not talk about their story ever? I said, I'm not talking about your average person or who has been a victim of anything sexually assault related, like rape or sex trafficking or whatever. They have no problem telling you their story. The reason why Eliza will not tell her story in detail is because her life is so well documented in the past that you will be able to pinpoint even the little stuff she said. You're able to pinpoint it. Now, when she was talking, now help me out, ladies. What was that show where she said, well, somebody took my pictures and they started spreading all over Twitter?
Michael Malice.
Mike Malice, yeah.
Go watch that again. This time.
But you know what's really funny though about that, even more so, Tree, is that part didn't even stick out to me. literally the first minute when the show starts, where he's like, I'm talking here with Eliza Bleu about human sex trafficking, and she starts and she's like, first of all, can we talk about how great your book is? Can we talk about how great your book is?
She was very flirty, which is like, you can't, not that you can't be charming on an interview. Like, I think there is a place to be a little bit charming.
But he looks at her and he's like,
yeah,
no, we're talking about human trafficking. And it's literally like a shutdown. And she's just like, what?
She's like short circuiting. She's like, flirt tactics are not working. Let's try the next level.
But not even that. I mean, like Tree, you even know, like, from being a former police officer, you know, and this is like one of the things why I'm interviewing you for the documentary is because, you know, one of the things that I've seen, and I've watched thousands of victim testimonials on what has happened with human trafficking, from little kids to that are police videos to people that have appeared on shows like Mel Robbins. Every single survivor can literally pinpoint and go through bullet points in a timeline.
Yep.
And they're like, well, it started with this, and then it happened with this, and then this happened, and then this, and then this. When you look at Eliza's storyboard, okay, first of all, every podcast is different. It's like, you know,
everyone, exactly, yes.
Right. And that's where I feel like I keep saying, I feel like I'm like Charlie Day in that meme where I'm like putting all of like the yarn things together, like the conspiracy,
right.
Because you literally have to take a 10,000 foot view. And mind you, I've had to watch a lot of her interviews, sometimes 2 or 3 times, to remember, okay, wait, what was the time code for like where she said this and where she said this? Because there's so many inconsistencies. And granted, I'll give you this. Some survivors can have inconsistencies as far as he was wearing a white shirt versus a gray shirt, or, you know, like little tiny things. But when it comes to like the formulation of events, they don't forget that stuff. What the fuck is this? Is this Nancy Grace?
You. It's you, Faran. It's Dollar Tree. Faran.
Is that Dollar Tree?
I don't know.
Faran?
Someone made this. Somebody blended your face with Nancy Grace. You know what? I'm the parent that'll just throw the artwork on the fridge. I'm not here to judge.
Let me tell you something. She had that baby for 31 days. She didn't call the cops. She didn't tell her parents. No one knew where little Kaylee was. And she's going out and getting tattoos.
Faran, you got to do the whole documentary in this. Just retape the whole thing and do it in that voice, please.
Chrissy, this has crossed my mind like 2 or 3 times. I honestly thought about like started like the second part being like, welcome to the new documentary about Eliza Bleu, aka Eliza. What?
Do it again. Can you do the spin around move again?
Oh shit! Hang on.
Uh-oh, wait. Okay, here we go. Wait,
welcome to the Nighttime documentary where we're going to break down Eliza Morthland, aka Eliza Cuts, aka Eliza Knows, aka Eliza Bleu. This woman, she goes around telling people that she's famous, and then she goes around telling people that we should literally bow down to her because she knows Elon Musk. Folks, let me tell you, the corruption is deep in this woman, and we are going to take apart this woman here and now, whatever she goes by, and I guarantee you she has murdered someone and they are in her goddamn basement, and we're gonna find their bones and rip her apart for everything that she is. So let's feed those fucking ducks.
Oh my god! The fuck? Turn that song off!
I couldn't find the button.
Oh,
he was
God,
like, that fucking song in my head forever.
Oh,
I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, I'm in theater, but how long is she gonna make me go? And then I'm like, oh, feed the ducks.
I couldn't find the button. I couldn't find the button. I was like,
But no, Nancy Grace is the fucking shit.
Cesario, mattress on the floor to avoid bullets in Chicago in a posh area. Was she trying to emulate Al Capone? Go to the mattress.
No, Al Capone is my people. They're long gone. They're in Cicero.
This is a very interesting little detail. The fact that there was a journalist out visiting her January 8th, like 2 weeks before this whole story popped off.
Well, she said Shane and his wife.
Grateful for Shane and his beautiful wife to come spend a few days with me on the farm. He's the only writer I feel comfortable with. Grateful for this opportunity. Profiling radical people is one of my favorite forms of writing.
That's why I don't believe this article is going to be worth anything. Guys,
compromised.
Listen, do not put any faith in Shane or anything associated with Tim Cass. I am not going to sit up here and say, oh yeah, he's really going to break it down. No, he's not. Okay. I'm just going to have to say it. It's going to take a woman who's like, dude, those feminine wiles.
I see your bullshit. Okay. Yeah. I see your bullshit through your crazy fucking hair. I see what you're doing. I see it. You want to bring people out to your farm and groom them yourself? I see it. You
want to milk a cow and look at my life?
And you know what? That's where we're going to go live to Geraldo Rivera. He is out in the chicken coop. You know, that's what we need. We need like one of those people.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Calling me Nancy Grace was honestly one of the most amazing things I've actually ever heard.
This is the best rebranding
ever. You can even ask all of my friends from RT America. They used to be like, do Nancy Grace. And I was like, Ukraine needs to get their head out of their asses. And I used to do like everything Nancy Grace. It was like a funny shtick that I had. So when I saw Dollar Tree or Dollar Store Nancy Grace, I was like, first of all, like Dollar Tree, like, okay, funny, cute. But like,
we're making lemonade here.
At least give me fucking Target. Like Target Nancy Grace. Like, don't be a bitch, you know?
It's okay. Like, we're gonna take the lemons and make lemonade out of it. And I mean, if I'm Shane and I'm interviewing her and then this shit all pops off, like you have to pivot your story to cover. I think what the people's concerns are, but we'll just have to wait and see, you know.
I even said like if I ever have a girl, well, the one girl I'm gonna name her Nancy Grace, but call her Grace because I love fucking Nancy Grace that much. I've always loved her.
Eliza said he's the only writer I'd feel comfortable to let in like that right now.
I'll go fuck off.
Yeah, because you know he's a man. Like seriously, I'm trying to feel like show me a man who's going to push back against your BS, Eliza. Okay, show me that. All right, you got a billionaire who's cucking to you, girl. Listen, I recognize the power. I totally get it. And that's the reason why I said, no, it's going to have to take a woman to basically call your ass out and just basically put you out there. Because even gay men are having like pity for her. Like, listen, I'm not saying she doesn't do great work. I'm just saying there's a lot of unanswered questions.
My gay friends hate her.
Really? My gay friends are taking pity on her. And I'm like,
I only have one gay friend.
Because my gay friends, they hate her because she tried to come out as trans to get that Polaris award.
Oh boy.
Well, my gay friends are conservatives. They don't care about the whole trans thing. They just
no, they're conservative. They're log cabin Republicans. But they're like, this bitch. They're like, she tried to get this award by pretending to be trans because they saw her tweets and shit. Gay guys, by the way, they will follow your tweets from the time you were in kindergarten. So whatever you tweet out, always think, will this come back to me even if I'm 5 years old?
Will a gay man do a deep dive and collect all my tweets?
They will plug your Twitter faster than another man's hole to figure out what the hell racist shit you said.
Okay, this is interesting. God, it's this interview was already going on a couple weeks ago.
Right. And I forget that I forget who brought that to my attention when I tweeted out last night. I was like telling people who was following me on Twitter, I was like, hey, don't get your high hopes for anything associated with Tim Cass. Okay. He's called a fence sitter for a reason. All right. He's not going to go against her. And I said, he's not going to go all out. And I said, when I watch how he dealt with the Jack Murphy situation, because Jack Murphy was his friend, what makes you think I'm going to believe he's going to actually be very truthful or allow Shane to be truthful about her and actually put it out there? I think he's going to downplay the quartering and Brittany Venti, and he's probably going to put a lot of emphasis on, well, the quartering is back on Twitter now and tweeting, and they're not going to show the inconsistencies. They're not going to ask her, and I bet you he's not going to ask her, okay, you have been avoiding telling your story about being trafficked. Tell me in detail. If you trust me so much, which I don't believe the BS, if you trust me so much, tell me your story so we can finally have it out there. And if you tell me it once, then you can just have people I'll refer people to my article about the who, what, when, why, and where. It's not going to happen. She's going to sit up here and say, no, I don't. It's very painful. I don't want to talk about it. And as a survivor, I think it's wrong for somebody to ask me to expose my trauma. Bitch, what?
This is so funny from Armagod. Eliza is doing gain of function grifting. That's fucking so funny, girl.
It's so true.
So funny. I think just from watching Tim's show, he's probably careful to not tread into, like, at one point, like, this is an Eliza, her own personal story. The story is about so many things, but I think there is a strong enough censorship piece that is sort of worldly and important, that's worth discussing. And I can understand wanting to stay away from, like, what seems like the gossipy piece of the story, which is like, okay, someone lying about their background. At the end of the day, that's only important to, like, us, the people who've worked with her, victims,
Chrissie,
but
talking about her how she got trafficked twice is not gossip. She refused.
I mean, like, her lying, like, somebody lying about their life story is like, is that important to the world? And it seems like he likes to cover, I don't know.
Well, okay. You know what? I'll give you that. All right. I still got that heifer. Guess what? You sat up here and you made 2 tweets that you're going to die on a fucking hill for free speech. And still, you're okay with people being deplatformed. The Franco got fucking suspended, for Christ's sake. Brittany is locked out of her account. Quartering had to delete a tweet to get on his account. People are getting nuked just for putting a screenshot to a video that you consented to, that you got paid for, and they're being deplatformed. You're not fucking goddamn dying on that hill. You're not speaking about that. You're glorifying censorship because you're a fucking liar. You're a liar. So I'm thinking, there's so many ways to get her. But see, I am a woman, like you all are a woman. We don't think we're that dingling. So therefore, that bullshit that she normally pull with other men will not work with us. So she's want to sit up here and say, I don't want to talk about the gossip. I don't want to talk about my background story. Okay, Heifer, let's talk about the hill that you're supposed to die on when it comes to free speech.
Right. It's so contradictory. Like, she literally just said she's going to die on the hill of free speech, but then it just makes it look so bad.
Well, not even that. She not only said she's going to die on the hill of free speech, she also went to a fucking Julian Assange rally. And I run in the free Julian Assange circles here in DC because I'm anti-war, I'm pro, Julian Assange. And when she didn't get, invited to the Women's March here in DC, she decided to, like, kind of, I guess, let's bounce back to the Assange people. If there's one thing about the Julian Assange people, you don't fuck with them and pretend like you are in their movement, because they're the most loyal, like, tiny little movement as far as, like, the United States. But, like, if they find out that you're a grifter, you are done. The entire Assange movement has been, like, watching, like, what I've been saying and, like, what I've been reporting just from, like, just word of mouth. And they're like, nope, we're done. We're done. Because they literally saw her give a speech in the beginning of the trailer that I made, where it's like, oh, here's Eliza Bleu. That's at a Julian Assange rally. And she's like, oh, it's all about free speech. And we need to talk about free speech so that we can get, the women's voices out there, and then you literally shut them all down because it's something that you don't like? Okay.
Isabella, Brittany is a sister. Eliza is an Oompa Loompa. Oh boy. Thank you, Isabella. Sophie, on Flashcast, they mentioned that some tweets were deleted, not by them, since they were locked out. Someone deleted tweets and they don't know which. Yes, I think we did check Social Blade and saw that on Jeremy's account, like some tweets of his were being deleted while he was locked out. So I mean that seems pretty
talked about
fucked
that,
up. From John Hancock, Eliza's action style has been spoken about in the manosphere, and looking at the flags, tears can do magical things. Ugh. Like when you start asking hard questions, like,
you guys really need to watch her demeanor. It's not tears. The video interviews I watched how she lowered her chin, how she looked with her eyes, doe eyes, blinked a lot, like tilted her hair. If those women, those of us who have actually taken the art of seduction, you will see it upon sight. Is the way she is very seductive in a subtle way. She'll rate because she has a deep voice like me. Actually, I think Chrissy has. We have that type of what.
Yeah, I could go deep, girl.
Yeah, we can have it deep. She does, but when she wants to get submissive, she will. Yes, and like she'll raise her voice up. To a soprano.
Like in my particular story, like for example, in my particular story, I had the option to be free.
Yeah,
like, it's a lot of
so
a lot of jargon.
She knows what she's doing to seduce men, and I look at it and I go, "That's what it was. That's what it is." I have yet to see her use tears at all. I've seen her use seduction, and like you said earlier, she tries to go with the compliments. But honey, if when that's shut down, she got other things she could take out of her bag.
True.
Hang on,
breaking news.
Go ahead. Yep.
Okay. Shaqui. I don't know if this is pronounced Shaqui Dogemeyer. Eliza is giving reformed Antifa. Interesting. Just Nova. What ticks me off, my friend is an actual survivor of child mole, can tell her story and created her own nonprofit and doesn't have to exploit herself. Yeah. It's
okay.
sad.
So, wait, what?
Should I put on some music?
No.
Oh, fuck Tim Pool.
Oh, no.
In the asshole, no lube.
Here we go. Tree and Logic was right. Here we go.
All right. So in my stream earlier this morning, I told the quartering, I was like, hey, dude, you got to kind of like give other people credit for like standing up for you, like when you were gone and all this other bullshit. Yeah, he has come through. However, I am now suited up for fucking battle. Tim Pool, 1:31:23. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. 8:25 a.m. People want us to talk about the Eliza Bleu story. We had the quartering booked for yesterday.
Is this a tweet you're talking about?
Yeah, booked a month in advance. He flaked on us, his words. He could come on anytime and we will find a new date. Y'all want a show about it? And we had it timed perfectly, but it fell apart.
Well, it sounds like Jeremy canceled then.
No. He talked about this already.
Jeremy even said that there was a lot of shit going on and he forgot about it. But that's where your fucking booker calls and says, hi, it's Cassandra wanting to make sure that you're fucking coming. Like, give me a break. Okay, so first of all, blaming Jeremy when even Jeremy already took the fall for it. Jeremy even says, Tim is correct. I was booked and flaked out. I'll respond to that in a separate tweet but there really is no drama there. But this wasn't even a story a month ago when they booked me, and I'm not demanding to be present when Tim covers it. Go ahead, buddy. This little motherfucker.
I told you guys, stop demanding upon Tim. Tim is a coward. Okay? He is a bald head, munchy cheek, grifting ass fence-sitting coward. Stop thinking that he's going to be the one that's going to do right by
I never did. I never did.
It just sounds like.
By the way, the quartering even said, in my stead, I think Brittany Venti or Faran Balance would do a great job on Timcast covering the story, if not either of them Star Wars girl.
He'll never bring you on, Faran. Are you serious? He'll never. Let me tell you something. That's a bitch-made boy. He'll never bring an alpha woman like you
maybe
on
he would. Maybe he would. I don't know.
No,
I mean,
no, he won't. I've got money on it.
Cassandra hates me.
I put money on it. He won't do it.
No. Because here's the difference. The difference between like myself and like everybody else against Eliza is that like we actually know the shit that we're talking about. Like when we go on a show, we study what the hell we're going to talk about. That's one difference. But also, like, I mean, you know.
Yeah.
To do a fucking move like that though, Tim Pool, go fuck yourself. Okay? Go fuck yourself.
I want to talk about the Ella Oren part because I meant to bring this up before because it feels to me that the new Twitter is just coming up with TOS like on the spot, and these tweets are coming out at the same time that Eliza Bleu is tweeting, which furthers the idea that Ella Irwin and Eliza Bleu are in cahoots. So she tweeted this out 2 days ago. In the past 2 weeks, we've suspended multiple accounts and or restricted content, causing confusion for users. Unfortunately, we can't answer questions or share details about specific users and account actions, but here are some things that can lead to these types of actions. And so everyone's like, you know, waiting for her to tweet out something like this. And so we're like, oh my God, this obviously applies to exactly what's going on right now. These issues are complex and often resolved in court. So that makes you feel like, oh, are people going to court over this?
No, not what did Defengo? Did y'all see his tweet that got him nuked?
Yeah.
No. How did that tweet violate terms of service?
All he said was that Ella Irwin is having the time of her life, and like basically controlling everything, basically like a Vijaya Gotti's wet dream or something like that.
Right. How is that violating terms of service?
It hurt her feelings, and she doesn't like to hurt her feelings.
So Defango tweeted about Ella, and that's what got him suspended?
Yeah, he tweeted, he at her in his tweet, and he at VJJ girl. I don't know how to pronounce her name.
Vijaya.
and he put her name in there, and he nuked. He said his tweet his account was nuked minutes later.
However, there was a group of little bitch tits that came in the Twitter space last night that they found out that were tweeting out that they had reported Defango. However, I mean, there's also the idea, like, I mean, I remember when Simcast, when what's her face's ex-boyfriend called in, and then people were starting to take credit, like, oh, I was the one that called in as her ex-boyfriend, and you find out they really didn't. It's just like kind of troll.
Because that guy then reached out to me on Instagram. And this is how I knew it was legit, because he's not a public speaker. He's not someone who's going on shows and stuff. He had this feeling that a lot of people have when they kind of regret like speaking out. They go, oh, they feel kind of vulnerable and weird. Oh, is it okay? Mm-hmm. Like, I wonder, is something going to happen? Is she going to find out it's me? And then I was like, okay, now I know that this guy is legit. And it gave some, more details.
They're saying Tim's latest tweet is worse than the one that I just read.
Oh no. Can it get any worse?
And see, okay, quartering is Milwaukee. I'm Chicago. Oh, bitch.
Hold on, I'm gonna finish reading this.
Go for it.
Okay. In the past 2 weeks, we've suspended multiple accounts and or restricted content. See, that's what I think they were able to get Defango on. He tweeted at Ella, therefore she was able to like somewhat claim harassment, which is ridiculous. Okay. Causing confusion for users. Unfortunately, we can't answer questions or share details about specific users and account actions, but here are some things that can lead to these types of actions. The issues are complex and often resolved in court. We don't determine who in a legal or criminal case is ultimately right or wrong, but we will continue to ensure we protect users, comply with local laws, and remove content when required. We don't suspend users for posting reported content unless it is clear the user knew the content was illegal, which in this case,
that's bull.
nobody knew. Nobody knew it was illegal. It was a public music video. No aspect of that was, if it was illegal, World Star wouldn't have had it on their website for 6 years.
Oh my God, dude.
We do ask for it to be, we do ask for it to be removed. Okay. Before account use is resumed, soon we'll display the specific removal reason publicly.
No, they won't, because they can't. You cannot sit up here and say that it's illegal to take a screenshot from a video where she not only consented to, but she was paid for. How are you going to make that work?
Right. Just because you fill out, just because Eliza, supposedly filled out the proper paperwork for getting these links and photos yeeted from Twitter, like, that doesn't mean it was the right move. I mean, like, if someone posts a picture of me with a double chin, that's not illegal. Like, you know what I mean? If I'm like fully clothed, like, I just don't like how I look in this photo.
Dude, this is worse than Jack Dorsey being in charge, man. Hell. Like, I'm trying to figure out, like, what's the change? Where's the change in the free speech?
Reports of non-consensual nudity, which this wasn't. It was fully consensual and it wasn't nude.
Right.
Copyright violations.
No copyright violation is applied in this. It's just a
World
screenshot.
Star owned it. She signed, I imagine, whatever she needed to sign to get paid for it.
It was not illegal content.
Illegal content, etc., do not get processed by all platforms at exactly the same time. However, if filed properly, the content is normally removed from other platforms as well. And like, nobody cares about that right now. Like, we care about Twitter. We don't care about Instagram. But I guess, yeah, because Eliza, in her tweet, she did thank Google and YouTube. So it gives me an icky feeling knowing that they kind of work.
Yeah, but that was for show, because they had nothing to do with it.
So the chat was right. The last tweet that Tim Pool tweeted did light a fire. I might have tweeted some obscenities, but I'm going to share it with you. So Tim Pool tweets out, "We had the quartering booked for last night and he bailed on us. Therefore, we had Shane Cashman working on the story. People are still mad at us. Should we stop trying to cover the story?"
Yes, because you're not going to do anything.
Seems like that might be the best approach. You can't appease a mob. And I go, seriously, go fuck yourself.
Oh no, Faran.
I go, you are literally the bitch I thought you were in this situation.
Dude, yes.
Can't wait when the quartering and I prove you wrong. I used to respect you. Disgusting beta bitch move.
Oh,
yes, beta.
Faran.
He's so beta. All of us will come on our periods together and sync. You know what I'm saying? No. That's just how much soy Tim Poo has.
But don't you feel like, I feel like he's getting a lot of hate where there are a lot of, and I understand.
He had every fucking moment to go cover this story. And he's like, we don't cover drama. We don't cover drama. We don't cover drama.
Then why send Shane over there in the first fucking, oh, that's right. It was already scheduled a month ago. My bad. Sorry about that.
Do you think the other podcasts that covered her, like Michael Malice, Dr. Drew, Daily Wire, Hotep Jesus, do you think they all deserve equal sort of passion from the internet in terms of like not covering this?
I said, so here's what I said earlier today. Okay. I said that they should not be held like liable for being right or wrong. However, it should be a lesson in the sense of we probably should vet our guests a little bit more and not take everything for granted. However, Tim Pool is a little bit different, okay? He is good friends with the quartering. He was friends with Brittany Venti. You had Cassandra, who automatically we know does not like Brittany, refused to bring her on and bring on her side. But when Eliza Bleu starts trending, then we can send Shane out. And here, I mean, I'm sorry. I am sorry.
He was sent out like 3 weeks ago.
I don't give a fuck if he was sent out like 2 weeks ago or yesterday. The fact that he is sent out on her farm for multiple days in a row, and then what? Then now you're going to hold it for this story? Is that why you didn't bring Brittany? Is that why you didn't bring Brittany on? Because that is unethical fucking journalism. Because if they don't ask for a statement, if Brittany doesn't come on, he's had her on twice. And you know what? Like when I don't get in drama. I don't get in drama. But now he's going to act like he's picking up the story like he's the beacon of free speech. Go fuck yourself.
He's
Sit
not,
and fucking spin.
And
Sit
Chrissie,
and fucking spin.
Here's the deal.
But here's the thing is like only me and maybe Eva Lovia, I think, came out and spoke about it of all the people who platformed her. So it's like I don't see anybody tweeting like at Dr. Drew, what the fuck? You know, you have like
this is my stance. I will not hold anyone, male or female, responsible for the story for covering her or platforming her in the past. I don't care about that. What I care about is if you're going to cover her, you better have the backbone to do it. And I don't think any man, okay, should do this. Tim and Shane, I don't care if he's married or not, they can't do this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
I just want to know, like, was he originally sent out there to cover this part of the story or just cover her in general?
Who knows? He probably was sent out there since they scheduled it a month ago. It was probably scheduled out there for some stupid thing about, oh, this is where I plan to have my activist home or shelter or whatever. I mean, it could have been something to promote her, and then they did not foresee this coming out the way it did, but they're not going to cancel the appointment.
See, first of all, here's the problem too. Number one, this evening, okay? You have a lot of people looking at the censorship situation, okay? Number one, you have Cassandra blocking me and then calling me, you know, the dollar store Nancy Grace.
But we love that. Now we're embracing that.
Of course, yeah. But what I'm saying though is that like a lot of other people did not like that. They thought it was very trolly of her, especially the fucking coward move that she had to block me before she said that shit. Me, I don't give a shit. I embrace it. But that was number one. That is your assistant and your fucking booker that's getting like these little mean girl tactics behind blocks, okay? That's number one. Number two, now you're calling out Jeremy when he already said, yeah, I messed up. I didn't get back to you. I'm sorry. You know, we'll reschedule. Now, when the drama's there, now you're going to come out and blame Jeremy, acting like he fucked up when Jeremy already admitted that he did. But oh yeah, well we talked to him and he messed up, and that's why we don't have the drama.
But Faran, Tim said this on his own show. But everything he's saying on Twitter, except for blaming Jeremy, he said, yeah, we had Tim. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Ask for verification.
No, you're right. You're right. But what he's doing now, what he's doing now though is he's trying to like re-say it to be like, well, we had him, guys, but he decided to flake on us. As if like he's trying to change the narrative, as if like, you know, Jeremy said like, hey, I forgot to get back to you. Now it's like, oh, we had him booked and he flaked on us.
It sounds like he's trying to say like we were gonna acknowledge it. Jeremy was gonna come on, and it would have been perfect. Exactly. But now it's like if you really want to cover it and it doesn't work for Jeremy right now, then you do have to book like you, Faran, or Venti, or like even me.
He's not going to get an alpha woman in there to stand up to him. Okay, he's not going to do it.
But that's the problem though. Is what I have a problem with is Jeremy already admitted his wrong, and now you're acting like that he fucked up again because he wasn't there for the story that we told you about fucking 2 weeks ago that you said was too much drama for you. And now you're going to blame him again. You're going to double blame him. That's fucking bullshit. You're a fucking bitch. Go fuck yourself.
Faran.
No, I'm serious.
Bitch, Chrissie.
And you know what, Chrissie? He's from Chicago. I'm from Chicago. He should be able to take this very well. That is fucking shady bullshit. He already said, I'm sorry. And now you're going to go on Twitter and put him on blast again? That's fucking bullshit. That you don't fucking do that kind of shit. That's bullshit. He already apologized to you, not once, in your DMs, but
He's
also
trying to
on his
use
own
the
show.
quartering as a scapegoat.
Exactly. To say like, that's why I don't have this story, because he flaked on me. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, it does seem like it would have been perfect to have Jeremy on. He was scheduled to come in. If you still want to cover it, it would make sense to book someone else to talk about it. And it's not like
I'm right
Jeremy
here in DC.
is the only
right here
like
in DC, asshole.
option.
Mm-hmm.
I say, why do? Hold on. Here's my question. I want both of you all to answer it. Why the fuck do we need him?
Farron.
Why do we need Tim Pool to cover
the thing
the
is like,
story?
and the thing is like actually it's like, you know, it's just one show, and again, like
but
no one has control over what they cover or don't cover, so it's like we might as well just do it the best we can. You know,
here's my problem that I have though. Okay, here's why. Okay, things are starting to pick up speed, and apparently a tweet went out wrong, and I was like berated, being like, you need to change this because that's not what happened in our Twitter spaces, and you need to fix it. No. And I was like, I don't have to fix shit. Whatever. That was Cassandra. She wanted to put it out there and be a little fucking troll. Go deal with her. Well, I'm the one that's getting all the hate. No. And I was like, you know what? All right, I'm a human. You're going through some shit. I'll change the tweet. Fine. If the shoe was on the other fucking foot, and I was like, hey, can you change the tweet because I'm getting all this hate and I wasn't the one that, they wouldn't fucking change a goddamn thing.
You know what's another important thing that I forgot to bring up is how Eliza seems to be bringing up religion kind of out of nowhere.
I thought she was atheist.
She is atheist. She is atheist.
All night.
Religion is a new grift, by the way. Andrew Tate used it as far as Muslim is concerned, and now she's using Christianity. They're atheists.
Yeah. So this was literally very early this morning. I love Jesus Christ and he loves me back. I used to be afraid to say that in public, but I'm not afraid anymore. And I guess the internet has found conflicting takes on her religious opinions, which is, it seems strange to bring up your religion, your relationship with Jesus at a time like this.
Why? Hold on, Chrissy, tell me why she's going the Jesus route. Come on.
Because Jesus forgives. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to like.
She needs the backing of conservatives. When it comes to religion, especially Christianity, you're not going to get sympathy from the left. You're going to get sympathy from the right.
Yeah. So this is from Pash Potatoes. This is she's actually going off of something you tweeted, Tree, 8 hours ago. Yeah, Eliza Bleu just tweeted these tweets. Kanye is on the run from the cops because he has a battery warrant out for his arrest, and you're an atheist. The reason why you never mention Jesus is because you don't believe he exists, just like you don't believe free speech exists.
Yes, girl, slay.
And this was okay. Yeah, I'm glad you guys have all these screenshots of Eliza's stuff. I'm going to say this last thing because it on my heart. If you're trying to get me out of the way to pull down Elon Musk or get me to stop being a survivor advocate, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not budging. I'm going to stand right here. You can move me. Wait until I collaborate with Ye. And isn't it funny? It's like people are questioning Eliza, her story, her lies, her grifting, but she goes and makes it about Elon. She goes and makes it about the survivor advocacy, and he's trying to distract from the problematic part of it, which is her timeline and the grifting. You don't see her tweeting out trying to explain her GoFundMe, asking for vacation money.
Nope.
She's making it about Elon, and she's making it about survivor advocacy. She's very good at distracting. Yeah, I love Jesus Christ and he loves me back. I used to be afraid to say that in public, but I'm not anymore. Really? Never heard you say that on a podcast, Eliza, because that would be a way of saying it in public. So, and this is from Pashed Potatoes. She changes on whoever she thinks her audience is. Right now, she is appealing to Christians because she stepped in. It's exactly what you said, Tree.
See, look. Oh my God, I didn't see this. I just woke up. I didn't know this was there.
This is from this is from September 2nd of 2020. By the way, I'm a straight Christian conservative libertarian.
But you said you're trans.
I'm a survivor. I matter. If a survivor is a queer devil worshiper Marxist, they still matter. So here she is in September of, oh my God, my touch screen is being very gay. So here she is, September of 2020, saying she's a straight Christian conservative libertarian. Now we have her in February 3rd of 2022. I'm not a conservative. I didn't defend what she said. I defended her right to say it. Glad we cleared that up. Have a nice day. And this is Rockford Tea Party saying, why is anyone defending Whoopi Goldberg? Seriously, conservatives, stop. Her ignorant comments are par for the left. Her comments were real racist and ignorant when the left goes bat crap crazy over
shifter.
So here she says, I'm not a conservative. So we have 2020, I'm a straight Christian conservative libertarian. And here we have 2 years later. Okay, now she's not a conservative. I mean, I'm sure I've said, I don't know. It's possible I've said in the past.
I've said some shit, and then I've redone the tweet.
I'm not conservative. So here she is.
I've never in my life, you'll never see a tweet, you'll never see a Facebook post of me quoting the Bible as a Christian or using Christianity to grift anything. You know, because if you're really a Christian, that the way she wants to talk about Jesus now and everything like that, then why is it that you only use it to elevate yourself up on the grift ladder?
Yeah,
and see, the Christian grift is really strong for conservatives.
See, all you assholes are Christian. I'm a Catholic where I'm sitting over here like I'm going to hell no matter what.
So this is December 11th, 2022, saying I'm a survivor of human trafficking that's trying to help Twitter with suggestions of how to stop child sexual exploitation. I have been for years. I'm also an anarchist. So this isn't a political. So she's a conservative. She's a Christian. She's an anarchist. She's then not a conservative. So she's everything. She has a wide range.
Oh.
And let's not forget she's trans, but she's also straight, right?
And now this
conservative libertarian that doesn't exist, bitch.
July 9th, 2020. I'm a conservative libertarian. I love the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. I'm a survivor. Do you see #MeToo?
Oh, that's cute. That's right after Andrew Yang dropped out. That's cute.
Oh God.
Oh,
so 2020, she's a conservative libertarian. She's a Christian. She's straight. And then didn't she also say at one point she goes by they pronouns?
Yes.
I saw I saw a tweet.
No, she does.
I wish you're right, she does. But I saw a tweet where a trans person checked her and she said, you should watch. I am also trans. You should think before you.
No way.
Yes.
If anybody can find this trans
please
tweet.
Find that tweet, somebody.
Oh, no, yeah, it's somewhere, yeah. By the way, I translated my my tweet that I sent to Tim from Chicago to English. I said, seriously, go hump a tree. Jeremy apologized already for missing the show weeks ago, and to use him for this when we brought you this story last week and you shut us down saying you weren't about drama. Pathetic. Bitch move.
Yeah, I definitely want to make sure I shout out Pashed Potatoes for compiling all these flip-flopping religious point of views.
You think that's better to tweet at Tim Pool? A little bit more.
What?
That's what I fixed my tweet to Tim Pool. The first one.
I found it. Hold on, I found it. How did I give it to you? How did I give it to you?
The trans tweet was, can you link it in the private chat, or you could screenshot it and send it to me on Twitter?
No, I got it through private chat. I'll definitely
I feel bad for Jeremy.
It's from Brit again.
That's bullshit.
Dude, I like her. Here you go. It's from her again. She exposed it. Look at that right there.
Pashed Potatoes is doing great work. Okay. I feel like I'm making this so hard for my clippers because I'm jumping around a lot. Okay. Pashed Potatoes, she already did. This is from November of 2020. The above is a report from the Polaris Project, the National Human Trafficking Hotline. And then this anemone person says, stop using trans people as your battering ram to attack sex workers. And then she writes, tweeting this would imply that I'm not a trans sex worker myself. It's best to tread lightly in these situations. Oh no.
Yes, honey. She's everything, girl.
Do you have a dick? What?
This is not good. It's like either you are
I
or
saw
you
that
aren't.
last night on my stream. That's the reason why I happened to have it right on handy, because we were like, she's trans now. When did that happen?
Wait,
Maybe
so she's a trans man?
Maybe she's trying to hide a penis. Maybe that's what this is all about.
That's what I think. Yeah.
There's a penis under all this.
Does she have a penis
mystery.
or a vagine? Or
she's
both.
like, oh,
Sometimes
you don't know. Both. You don't know. I could be trans. What it's like.
I mean, hopefully it's not like Wheel of Fortune where I got to pull back and just move it over, and find out.
Oh God, this is I'm glad this clip is here because this was so great.
Faran, thank you so much for posting that audio.
Faran.
That was like so transparent right there.
Audio recording of Katie Herzog, which is Katie Herzog interviewing Eliza Bleu. This is one of the first snippets I saw of Eliza that made me go, oh shit, she's trying to hide something. When asked the question about sharing her story, things go horribly wrong.
I don't know if for me to tell my story at length is going to take a while.
I don't even need that.
Answer questions about my story is going to take a while.
So I know the basics of your story because I've listened to your podcast.
Right. So I'm trying to figure out exactly what.
Oh, my internet.
The question is.
Well, I can ask you the questions.
I didn't agree to this. All I agreed to was answering a few questions about Twitter.
Well, okay, sure. That's totally fine. But can I ask you the questions or email you the questions and you can decide if you want to answer or not?
Did you ask Amanda in advance to do that?
No, I told her that I wanted to ask you about the Twitter stuff and about your own story.
Okay, so you deceived Amanda, didn't tell her everything you wanted to ask
no,
me, and then you got a survivor on the phone and started asking her about her personal trauma.
No,
notice how she says you got a survivor on the phone. Like she has to constantly remind you.
You're a survivor advocate, therefore you should be ready with your story. That's what I'm trying to get everybody. A lot of people are trying to cape for her and say, well, she is a survivor, or like she's a survivor advocate. That means she's in the limelight. She's supposed to be a lighthouse for other survivors. If you can't tell your story, then how are other survivors going to relate to you?
Yeah. And look at her. Look how Katie she's got short hair. Come on, she's on your side here. There's no need to dog her. She's with you. She's probably got a fucking nipple piercing.
Hang on,
somewhere.
slag us. Nick Ricade is disappointed in me right now. Why?
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna play the rest of this.
That's not what happened. I said.
I think we're probably going to be done here. Next time you want to speak to a survivor about their trauma and bring up their own past.
I literally asked her. I'm going to read you. I'm going to read you. I'll read you the message that I sent her.
She's not even letting Katie talk because she knows she's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
She has to go in hard to this. I'm upset. You've upset a survivor. Now it's too late. It's ruined now. You've ruined it. And Katie's like, no, I'm literally just, let me tell you what my message to your producer actually said. And Eliza won't even let her do that.
Please be honest in advance.
I won't.
Because there are times when I feel cool about talking about it, and there's other times when I don't.
How convenient.
Never cool about talking.
Yeah. How
never
convenient.
cool about talking about it. Never.
Nah, I've never once seen her seem cool about talking about it.
Read you the message that I sent it to her. You're not listening to me.
I was totally comfortable talking about Twitter. If you were going to ask me about my own traumatizing story, I would have appreciated a little bit of a head.
Can we drink every time she says trauma?
Yeah, I don't want to die of alcoholic poison.
I think you're a cool person. I always have. And I know you're cool with Tim Dillon. And
this is a part that like cringes my whole soul. And she does this. She'll name drop when she feels like it's a power move. It's I wouldn't want to tell our mutual acquaintance with a huge following that
I know you're cool with Tim Dillon.
Yeah. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Someone who's constantly name dropping all the famous people they know, all the big time acquaintances, like that just shows you where her priorities and values are, because she doesn't like how Katie is behaving right now, and to like whip her into shape. Basically, she's looking for her to let her off the phone with no pushback and no challenge. She wants her to cower and apologize and be like, oh my God, I upset a survivor.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
Please don't tell Tim Dillon. Please don't tell Tim Dillon. And Katie's just trying to be like, I'm just trying to live in the same reality here. Like, this is what was said, and Katie is trying desperately to clarify, and Eliza will not let her clarify. She is hanging on to you've already upset me. There's no going back. It's ruined. She won't even let her talk to clarify. And when that doesn't work, she name drops Tim Dillon. This is such a manipulative move.
To scare her. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It makes me sick. Ugh.
I would have appreciated a little bit more respect just off.
You're not listening to me. Here's what I said to her. I said, I'm interested in the Twitter changes as well as her history as a survivor. That is what I told her.
Then I'm going to speak to her about that, because then she messed up and didn't tell me what's up.
Okay, well,
I apologize for blooping out on you. She should have told me that. I'm going to go get in her ass.
And she also, the way Eliza's reacting right now, it's almost like, you better be truthful about this, Katie, because I'm about to beat Amanda over this. You know, it's almost like you better be correct about this, because then she's gonna get the ass whooping. It's
y'all know a
survivor
survivor who acts this way.
No, but then the next part is then when she realizes that it was her own secretary or secondhand fucked up. Then the next excuse that she uses is gold.
Okay.
Can I ask you the questions?
I'm not cool with it. It's been a long few days, and honestly, I don't feel like rehashing my whole own trauma on the phone with somebody I don't know.
We always ask them the same question. What is your central strategy for defrauding people? They all say the same thing. Get them under the ether. Under the ether? Ether is a heightened emotional state where you're no longer thinking rationally, but you're reacting emotionally. And this explains why so many people actually fallen for this stuff. You say, how could somebody that smart fall for that?
Yeah.
It's not their intellect that's engaged when they make that decision. It's the emotion.
Right. It's getting somebody panicked and feeling like they fucked up. They have to apologize, so that you get out of your logical questioning mind, like an interviewer should be in, and it gets you into now we're dealing on this emotional girl to girl friend level of, oh my God, I'm so sorry, don't be mad at me, and
well, did you see,
very
for
manipulative.
Example, there's so many other different occasions, because after literally watching this girl, I feel like I just don't ever want to see her again in my life. But there's another one where and by the way, there are so many songs for this documentary that are blue. That was the first one, the I'm Blue. Then there's Leanne Rimes, like the blue, oh so lonesome. Like, there's so many blue songs I never even realized. But the next one, it's just like a little play on it. But the other one though too is oh fuck, I just lost my train of thought. Shit.
All the different blue songs.
There's that, but then there's also
the emotional manipulation, the getting somebody to the heightened state where they're not logical anymore, not questioning, and they have to apologize. And she was trans, really and the name dropping Tim Dillon. Oh, we have this mutual acquaintance. I wouldn't want to mess things up with our mutual acquaintance in you.
I totally just lost it though. It'll come back to me.
Okay, I'm gonna
it was another like emotional thing.
Oh, let me get on my back. I'm looking at the super chat. Let me get on my phone. I want to see the drama.
At the back and forth between Quartering and Timcast.
Let me look at
morning.
This.
Thank you, Brent Wolf, for the 20. Dalamar for 5. She's pivoting to exploited from being trafficked. Watch the play with the concepts and words. Yeah, and she can change it on a dime depending on who she's talking to and who's questioning her. If she suddenly doesn't want to talk about a detail that's sketchy, now she's traumatized.
Of course, always.
But when no one's questioning her, she's a survivor. She's conquered it. She's thriving.
Mm-hmm.
Mitty, she said Shane would be there with his wife. Still a cause for concern. I think the wife could keep the nonsense at bay. Okay, yeah, I mean, that is the right thing to do, to invite the wife as well out, because it just looks really. I mean, he shouldn't go out if that's not the case. Traffic me once from Isabel Live. Yep, traffic me once, shame on me. Traffic me twice, shame on you. Water Jabbers, thanks for the super chat. Biggest giveaway, her 80s villainous dresses. Never trust poofy shoulder pads. I was looking for on Amazon yesterday to try to get. I might do a character.
You can trust poofy shoulder pads as long as it's like the 80s style, like the Golden Girls.
Okay.
Those are very endearing and warming. It's when like you look like you're gonna host like Hunger Games is when shit gets weird.
Yes. Yeah. And you would think that's the thing too, when you put yourself out there as a very flashy, overly manicured, overly dyed, like you're very much, and you look at her past, she was about the fashion, she was about the glamour, being in music videos. So obviously her look is a very important piece of this, but it doesn't help because you think human trafficking survivor, advocate, someone who works for a nonprofit, you think of somebody who doesn't want the attention on them. You think of someone who's like, I'm quietly working in the background. It's about them. It's not about me. It's not a glamorous job by any means.
No.
And you can you can still speak at events, but the way she's presenting herself is very peacocky, very flashy. Very Hunger Games Capitol type vibes. From Carnell, thanks for the super chat. Have you ladies listened to Eliza's space interview with Rose McGowan from last December? I don't know if it's still up. It might be worth a listen. And Rose McGowan, I think, is a legitimate person who is helping.
She is, and I'm friends. Okay, so I'm friends. I'm really good friends with Tara Reid, and then through Tara with Rose. Tara like was very much for Eliza, and then like even asked me like the other night, she was like, wait, what's going on with all this? And like when I finally explained to her, she was like, oh, like didn't really come out and say a statement, but like people are starting to catch on that like the jig's starting to be up a little bit. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yeah, it seems like it's getting to this tipping point where it has to be acknowledged, which was good, which is the goal, right? It's like,
and again, there's nothing wrong with it. If you were that, we kind of expected it, but just be honest about it. That's it.
And I think it's best, like, it's easy to get into like, oh, this person said this about me. What the fuck? This person won't book me. Like, it's so, but I think at the end of the day, like all we have control over is like, we all best cover this as best we can. You finish your doc. I know it's going to blow people away. It's going to be really good. Everybody who wants to participate in this story, put the information out there that you want, that you've worked on, and then
don't add her so you don't
decide.
get yeeted off of Twitter.
Right,
this is the most important thing. The Fango getting, because I don't know if you guys know this, but
that was under harassment.
I was watching his Twitter feed, and his live stream that was solely launched on Twitter was deleted. And so DeFango said, damn, they deleted my live feed. I said, they can do that? He said, apparently so. So I said, oh shit, they're homed in on you. So then I went back to check on him, and that's when I found out that he was suspended.
Wow.
So and what he said did not go against Twitter terms of service. So what I'm thinking is like, whoever said this in the MySpace place last night, this was a good suggestion. Oh, there was Star Wars Girl. Very good suggestion. Don't at Eliza. Don't put her in there whatsoever. Just use the hashtag.
Or even just, I think if you write her name, it comes up in trending. You don't necessarily
write her name. You don't have to add her. You can put Eliza Bleu.
Yeah,
because there's two trendings that's related to her: Eliza and then Eliza Bleu. You can put that in your tweet, but don't add her whatsoever, and don't add this chick. Ella. Don't add her either, because you're gonna
now she's looking to ban people. Like
right.
Ban
well,
hungry.
I'm even seeing in the chat like that Jeremy is like posting like the actual chat between him and Tim to like show people, but like I'm not gonna lie, like between Cassandra and her bullshit last night with me, because I mean I was really cool about it, as thank God Sister Chrissy was like, Faran, just hold your tongue, and now this stuff with Tim and Jeremy.
But Tim addressed this on his show. That's what it is. Like, you can't sit up here and address this on your show and then use Jeremy as a scapegoat because see, here's the deal. Tim know I don't like his ass, right? And so when I tweeted at him and said, you ain't gonna do shit. You're milquetoast. By the way, shout out to the guy who corrected me on milquetoast. I put MILK. Okay.
You spelled it like milk? It's milk toast. Who even says milk toast anymore? That's like a really specific.
Yeah, so I said he's gonna be a fifth sitter or whatever, and so I was like, y'all stop putting your faith in this guy. It's like he's not gonna you're not gonna be satisfied with this article. And now he's coming out to blame Jeremy when he already talked about this on his show already.
Milk toast. Toast, usually buttered, served in warm milk, often with sugar or seasonings.
Well, I guess that works too. That works.
It exists.
Too. Okay.
Buttered toast. You're buttered toast in milk. Warm milk. Oh, look at this. It could be.
Ew.
Ew. Who's going to eat this? Milk toast is a breakfast dish consisting of toasted bread and warm milk, typically with sugar and butter. Salt, pepper, paprika, cinnamon, cocoa, raisins. New England. Ugh. It's dipped in a milk-based white sauce. It was popular in the 19th. This is what we're going to be. They want us to eat bugs and milk toast. That's what the World Economic Forum wants for us. But milk toast, technically a thing. Technically exists.
Oh, I guess I would. Well, I'll take the proper way of spelling, because when with somebody who's following me, like, no, he said it's Mile. And anyway, he spelled it correctly, and I was like, "Oh, darn! Thank you." For all this time, I thought it was Milktoast.
Oh, what's up, Yellow Flash? Eliza found Jesus today. Yes,
Yellow Flash, what's up?
Yeah, she found a pink Bible in a strip club, and that's what got her out of the business allegedly. And now she's finding Jesus again on Twitter. Conveniently. Brian Close, thanks for the super chat. Check out Tim's latest tweet. It's even worse. Okay, that's a little old. Big Trouble Archives, how Tim will cover it. The article will still happen. It will be mid, and Tim will say, "I don't know, man," and move on. Then he will talk about Civil War. Exactly. Like, you don't have control. No one has control over how someone else covers this, right? That's why it's like, Faran, just do the best you can. We all put the information out there, and then the people decide. And that's really what.
But we already know what the people going to say. They're going to like, this bullshit ain't do nothing but just, skirt the line, and the Civil War ain't happening. Tim, let that shit go.
When he started saying that shit, I was like, take your fucking beanie off and go get some fucking vitamin D. Go out in the sun for a little bit, buddy. Come on, get some fucking. Give me a
Cassandra is friends with Ethan Ralph. Enough said. Hey, I used to be friends with Ethan Ralph too, but he blocked me. Liberty Mindset, trees ran about Tim. Accurate.
Thank you.
And mind you, I want to say this. I used to like really, really respect him, but like, again, I've met Jeremy, like, again, I'm very new to like all these YouTubers, but I will say Jeremy has been the nicest person. Like, hey, if you need anything, I mean, he even offered to like, hey, if you need to figure out what computer you need, or because I was like, I have a Mac, but I could do a Dell. And he's like, hey, whatever you need, like, I'll help you out.
Were you telling him that you didn't have internet either, and that you had to borrow your light from your barber?
Exactly. That's what I told him. So Jeremy, give me half your super chats, please.
Oh my god.
No, actually, no. I was like, give me half your super chats. But
no, I can't believe you're up in here. You're not giving Eliza any of these super chats,
bitch. Give me $10 of this Mark Williams super chat.
Mm-hmm. All right, you know what? I'm going to donate the super chats tonight to the Faran Fund. No, you're going to send it directly to me. I got holes in this sweater. I have to.
Let me tell you what it's going to go to. Let me tell you what it's going to go to. I don't have any bread for my pasta, for my mac and cheese.
Yo, I'm about to buy some milk toast to eat that.
I want some milk toast. Some burnt toast, too.
Jeremy made 3 recommendations for the Timcast interview. Brittany, Faran, and Anna. Britt and Faran are out. But they will ask Anna, but will they ask Anna to talk about this? I can't remember Anna ever putting up with BS from someone. I think a bunch of us could definitely speak about this issue.
Britt and Faran are out
coherently.
Why?
You guys shouldn't be out. Maybe that's just Mark's opinion, like he thinks.
Probably.
BS stands for bologna sandwich. Just to clarify. Okay, good. Just to clarify, I think that would be very cool to have any of you guys on to overlook Twitter squabbling and just be like, hey, like, just come on and talk about it. Always Red, thanks for the super chat. The way you're attacking this, Chrissy, is how you do this. She was on your show and you felt bad, so you're investigating. You have scruples. And again, like, you don't have control. You might feel like, oh, a Michael Malice or whoever are all obligated to talk about it, but it's like, if they don't, you can't make anybody do anything.
Yeah, I noticed. I will say this. When I first came on your show with the Simcast, that's when I saw for the first time that you really was hurt by her actions. I had no idea that
Yeah, you feel stupid. You're just like, oh
that
wow.
you felt that way. It was like, I was like, wow, she did like cut Chrissy deep. So yeah, okay, girl. I had no idea about that.
I will say this though. I mean, I do think, credit needs to be given where credit's due. I mean, that is not an easy thing to deal with when you are a host and you have people that come on and you're kind of like, uh-oh. And for you to kind of stand up and say, I don't believe this shit anymore. I mean, you got balls, girl. I mean, and I don't mean that like to like kiss ass. I mean, like that's a very, folks, I don't think you realize, like, I mean, most of the time, like, you really want to be neutral in this kind of a space and to kind of take a stand and say, you know what, like, that's not cool. That's not right. You're putting yourself in a box where you realize you might lose some friends. You might lose some people that want to come on the show because you said this and you said that. But you have principle and you have gumption, and I admire that. I really do.
Thanks, Faran. And I think I defended her over like Christmas and New Year's, and I don't know if it was. I don't think it was DeFango because he wasn't on my radar yet. It might have been like Zero Dark Tony or somebody else, like, because Zero Dark Tony had been, on this for a while, had been suspecting her of a while, and like he just didn't put it in a way that made sense to me. Like, he just didn't have his receipts lined up. It was just like, to me, it looked like just somebody shit talking Eliza, and I was like, yeah, it looks like you're just trying to clout chase. And I think I remember like Eliza liked it, and I was at that point in time, I was like, oh, it looks like people really are like trying to like take her down or something. It's all about how you present what you know. And I kind of like wrote him off at that time, but it's like, no, like, I'm definitely willing to reconsider my position, like, given more information. And like, you honestly, you never know what a priorities of a show are. I don't know. I imagine if my show blew up to be the level that Timcast is, who knows if I would rethink how I do certain things. But it's like, I don't know. I think when you have a huge fucking show, like, it's different than when it's just like, okay, I have a podcast and I don't know. I'm not saying like what, I don't know what the right thing to do is, but it's like, you can't control what other shows do. So you might as well just do the best you can. And then people can decide for themselves.
Yeah.
It's frustrating, but like,
well, it's like, yeah, we could all be adults, but some people don't.
From Allie writes,
like this one.
Faran, you're Tom Poole's peer, and this documentary matters. I'm cheerleading for you, babe. Please delete the tweet because calling him a B shuts down the conversation.
I changed it. Remember, I changed it. I said go hump a tree.
Oh, and that's the thing is like,
I made it G-rated.
Okay. You never want to like, I understand being emotional, but you never want to unnecessarily shut any doors. But I get.
Here's the thing, though.
I don't need no door open.
Here's the thing, though.
The views and opinions that are expressed right now is only that of Tree of Logic, not of Faran and Chrissy, okay? I don't need no little bitch boy to open any doors for me. No, thank you. I have listen, I know a lot of people want to be nice and neutral because you want to advance your platform so that you can get on Tim Pool's show and actually get followers and get more exposures. I support that. I'm not here for that. I'm here. I don't need to be liked. I just want to be right.
True.
I kind of agree.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
I will say, like, I mean, being one of 6 kids, like when I saw Eliza, like where I could see her grifting all through Twitter and like trying to get on people's podcasts, I was like, that just looks so gross to me. I'd rather just come on and be funny and just be myself and whatever.
And
like,
it's got to be hard to keep up a lie. Like, it's got to be very stressful for her. Like, she's not having fun right now.
Try like
Many
multiple
lies.
lies.
It can't be. It can't. She's not having a good time. She's probably going, "Oh fuck!" Like, she has to. And the more time that goes by where she's not, she should be on camera, go live today, and go, "Here are all the concerns I've seen building up over the last 10 fucking days." And instead of worrying about like lining up her lawyers, she should be concerned about what the public thinks of her, the followers and fans and other survivors that have confided in her. She should be concerned what they think, not like, oh, am I ever going to get on another podcast again? Am I ever going to get booked at another event? Am I going to be able to like accept donations? She should be like, fuck, like my actual character is in question. That's what should matter. You can always make more money. You can always reinvent yourself. Clearly, you can always, you know what I mean? Like change your career. She could slide off the internet, change her name again, and go work at a bank and make a living. But like, to me, her actions are stating that she doesn't give a fuck like what the people think of her. She's not willing to get messy and make herself vulnerable to clarify some things. And that's
and again, like I think tonight was so telling. To me personally, you know, like I'm a deep thinker. I'm a Scorpio. So
I'm an empath.
Yeah, I'm an empath.
I hate that empath shit, dude.
Eliza has lost more than 4,000 followers since yesterday.
No, even more than that.
Holy fuck.
Even more than that. I was watching her Social Blade. But because you're a Pisces, right, Chrissy? Your birthday's coming up?
Scorpio.
You're a Scorpio?
I'm a Scorp. I'm also
really?
an empath.
I'm a Scorpio too.
I'm the Pisces.
Snaps.
Oh, you're the Pisces. Okay,
yeah.
so we're all water signs. So
water signs.
All these empaths. Okay, so
I'm feeling so much right now.
I know. But no, like my thing is like at the end of the day, when you're an actual human and you actually understand, I mean, we're at a point now, folks, in the world where we're like one, if not two, people of a separation of somebody that's either been R-worded, SA'd, you know, something horrible has happened to them, right? And so a lot of us have become growing, you know, as a lot of us grow older and you know, knowing a lot more people and whatever, a lot more human, a lot more quicker than I feel like that, you know, like at least my grandparents were, you know, because I mean, granted there was crazy shit that went on, but I just feel like that there's people are a lot more open about things, I guess you could say, these days, you know. And when you see people that are really, really struggling with stuff, and then you see somebody come on the scene and they feel like, I mean, like, for example, like Daniel was in the Twitter spaces tonight, and he was like bawling in front of like everybody on Twitter spaces.
He was like losing it.
He was
and
really hurt.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't feel safe. Like, I know it's like for a guy to say I don't feel safe takes a lot. He was like, he's like, I don't really know who else in this chat, what the motivations are, who's trying to make us look bad, you know, who's trying to come in and spin it.
I talked to him till like 3:00 in the morning, at least Eastern time, to tell him like, you know what, like you believe somebody that was wrong or, you know, that didn't have the right intentions, and that's okay. But what I don't think a lot of people understand is that these people put so much trust in somebody, and then they feel like they can trust somebody, and then all of a sudden the rug gets ripped out from underneath them, and it almost kind of, you know, re-emphasizes like, see, you can't trust anybody. And that's where you have these people where you just feel terrible for them. And that's where, you know, at the end of the day, that's what it's about, is that these poor people, you know, those are the real people in all of this.
Yeah.
And, you know, the other thing that I look at and just kind of studying all of this is that, yes, you have your Andrew Tate survivors. Yes, you have all of these other high profile survivors, but there are survivors, I guarantee you, probably at least within a 2-mile radius from anybody's home right now. I mean, unless you live in the freaking boonies. But I mean, like, you know, like my friend Lynn, or I was telling you about Lynn's Warrior. She's like, I work with the NYPD, the ER, all these different places that are so close to me. The Covenant House, which is the homeless shelter. She's like, and these people that are getting trafficked are literally blocks from me. You know, and it's one of these things where it's like, yeah, it's very easy to jump on like the Gloria Allred, you know, where you jump on these high profile cases and you're the speaker. But where the real action happens is on the ground locally. And that's where I look at a lot of this stuff now. I mean, I used to look at a lot of that stuff, you know, when I first got into the news where it was like, oh, okay, you know, like high profile stuff, like, okay, cool. And then you see locally as you start doing more and more news stories on the ground, you're like, oh shit, like local services need way more help than fucking Gloria Allred and shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's just, it's sad, but I mean, you do feel the impact when you're in those Twitter spaces where a lot of people felt like they could actually trust this person and they don't. And that's where I was saying, like tonight, like where you see in the tweets, not one fucking thing to any of her fans, her survivors, nothing.
Yeah.
Everything is me, 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 me.
She's a narcissist. That's what they do.
When that Daniel guy reached out to her, she was just like, oh yeah, refer to this like law group. What is it? NISWA or like
NCOSE. And
yeah.
see, I actually think she's more histrionic because histrionic, their narcissism, they're narcissists, but they're also like very sexual. Like where they use sex as like a, yeah. Oh, I had a girlfriend like that when I danced for the Bulls, and I was like, "You're fucking crazy." It's crazy. Mm-hmm.
It probably also is like it's hard to get anything accomplished if you're just like, "Who am I gonna fuck today?" You know, it's like, don't you have other goals?
It's not even. I wouldn't even say it's like that. It's just they always need attention, but they feel like the way that they can get attention is by like being sexual or using their body.
Which any of us could do. It's just like, don't you want to do anything else?
So
in your life?
easy to do that.
So easy.
So easy.
It's like being a cover band. It's like, don't you want to write your own song?
Yeah. Good comparison.
The thing that was so funny though is like, I mean, like my girlfriend, because she would always be like, you should like show your tits more and you should do this. And I was like, I'm Catholic and we have a lot of guilt, so I can't do that. Like it was just one of these things. Like and plus my mother was a psycho, so like I couldn't do that. But like, I mean, yeah, it's just weird. Like they're very, very sexual, and then they can. And here's the thing. They're very comfortable with it too. But then but at the same time, then they're also like really insecure. And you're like, wait a minute, you were just like grinding on a stripper pole, and now you're like insecure. Like,
yeah,
what?
And I hate people trying to like discredit. Like, I think the people that are going to try to make Faran look bad are going to feel dumb when this documentary comes out because like I know it's going to be great. And it's silly to make a personal attack when really like the focus should be on Eliza getting this story straight.
Oh, are you talking about the personal attack, like the video? Yeah.
Yeah, like someone tried to post a video of you, like I guess you were.
But I wanted to be like, hang on a second. I wanted to be like, hang on a second. That's posted without my consent. That should be blocked. Shouldn't it?
It's a blockable offense.
Exactly.
That was a non-consensual.
But at the same time, I don't give a fuck. I mean,
drunk moment.
I have pants on. There was worse things that happened with the fucking music video than that. Give me a break.
I know. I'm gonna blow through a couple more of these. I'm so sad that I have to wrap this soon because I have another interview at 1:00, like in less than a half hour. The front porch conservative. If Sheen was sent to cover something else, Eliza related, she will use the time to spin a story in where is Sheen's original piece. He's had time. True.
Also, where was his travel to Jeremy and Brittany? If it was weeks ago.
Was he supposed to go do that?
Well, if he was gonna go meet them weeks ago,
I don't think he's gonna go see Brittany. I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt very seriously.
That's a shame. I think that all of them should be on. All of you guys should be on an episode. Greg Hoyt, it's funny that this Amanda Jean character, who one has to go through to interview Eliza, has since protected her tweets. Yes, very interesting.
Yes,
Greg is on the I team. Greg is investigative journalist out of Arizona.
Yeah, I had to block her because I'm like, she's gonna report some shit that I say no matter what. And Eliza already blocked me, so I then blocked her back because I was like, all right. FKN Freddie, thanks for the super chat. Defango is a paid gang stalker. We went against us when we outed fake child advocates grifting on YouTube. He is probably being paid to infiltrate you guys. There's a documentary on my channel about what happened. Wow, okay. I've never heard that before, but
if he's paid, okay, here's the thing. If he's paid, goddamn, he's doing an awesome job, because the only reason I'm on this is because I saw DeFango's thread. So apparently he's working against whatever, conspiracy theory you're talking about, because a lot of people, how did you find out about the thread, Chrissie and Faran? Did you find out about it from somebody else? Or
it was Brittany. It was Brittany getting, getting like banned, which led me to the thread.
Okay. Yeah,
but I wouldn't have cared. Honestly,
a lot
Brittany
of
being
us
involved
would have
made
never
me care.
known about Eliza had it not been for DeFango. I'm going to give him his fucking flowers now. If it wasn't for DeFango, a lot of us would have not have known about not only his thread, but Gabe's thread, as well as the young lady who's a sex work advocate.
Well, then there's one more though, because I saw Brittany when she posted DeFango's thread. But then I saw Mersh, and Mersh did he's the one that was like, but what if I'm right, in the trailer? And he has which
was a good insert.
Oh my God, I was like, oh, chef's kiss. But yeah, so he had a whole thing on it too. And there's been there's a number of people, I want to say there's 5 of them where they all started questioning. I mean, even Gabe from Open Secret,
right.
I'm trying to think who else, but I mean, there a lot of people were starting to ask questions over a year ago, but I think it was just, and honestly,
took the censorship to blow it up. Yeah.
Well, no, everybody said what started getting them questioning her again was when she went on Tim Pool's podcast, with the Andrew Tate stuff, where she said I'm not answering that. Where I guess she was very, bleh. And people were like, what the fuck, and yeah, so. I don't know.
It's easier to just be a bus driver. I agree with RJ. I'm going to blow through a couple more of these. Amanda, for 5, what are the odds Cassandra doesn't like where the story is going, is pushing to get the story dropped?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who knows? I'll definitely be waiting and seeing. Not Tim, by the way, it's spelled milk toast.
Thanks, not Tim.
I love the
not Tim.
Avatar.
You guys are wrong about Tim. Yeah, come on, let's hear it out.
That picture, oh my God.
Thank you. Richard Kristiovsky. Jeremy should go on Tuesday night's main event tonight. Yeah, that's a good idea. It's a huge platform. Hot mess, her new name change, Amber Blue or Eliza Heard.
Ooh,
I foresee another name
Eliza
change.
Heard.
Yep.
Ghost of Speedy for 5. I would love to replicate half of my DNA with Fair and Balanced. Oh, wow.
Wow.
What a compliment. Henry back to
hopefully
play.
I have enough eggs.
Not in this economy. Hey, internet hugs, everyone. Thank you. 6 a.m. Oh, okay. I highlighted this because I think this is a huge part of it. Tim, being a man, needs to tread carefully on calling a woman who self-describes themselves as a victim of sex trafficking a big fat liar.
Exactly.
I think this
Here's
is
why he should not do it. That's why I said no man should be doing this. It has to be another woman.
Yeah, I think this is why a lot of the other men are steering clear, to be honest.
Well, we're just gonna basically just super boost Faran's documentary. Those of you who are listening, take it, share it. We'll just saturate Twitter with it. That's how we're gonna take care of this.
Yeah.
We don't need no goddamn Tim Pool, okay?
I mean, it was so funny. When people kept asking Mercado about it, it was almost like he put a dick in front of his face and he just refused to look. It reminded me of my dog. It reminded me of my dog when I put my cat in front of him and he's like,
oh my God.
You put it right and he's like this, and then finally he was like, Eliza.
But here's the thing. You know what, Will? You know what? If your documentary, Faran, blows people away and it's really good, then all of this, the drama and the gossipy stuff and the name calling, I think that's all going to fade away because people will be like, this is undeniable. Faran is someone that can work on these kind of docs and she made some really good points. And I think a lot of the other shit is going to kind of become a lot less important.
Well, and again, like when they called me a dollar tree Nancy Grace, I was like, have you seen the fucking trailer? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like I could throw that into a movie theater and they'd not even think twice. But I mean, like that's a lot of again, like that's the other thing too, is like a lot of people don't know, like in the news, like yes, everything was very formative when I would do my investigation. So there wasn't like color changes and editing and stuff like that. Whereas now, like I can actually be a lot more creative. So yeah, like it's gonna be different. I'm excited.
Amir, thanks for super chat. As a conservative with an Asian wife, wouldn't I be immune to Eliza's siren song? Yes, you would, Amir.
What's the siren song?
Yeah, you would.
Her seduction, her seductive ways.
Yeah. Didn't the siren song come from mermaids? Is that where it all started?
Like, wasn't there like Medusa, like a 3-headed mermaid or something? Like you couldn't look at her because she'd sing at you and you'd make your fucking dick fall off. I don't remember.
The siren song, you just could not control yourself. You were actually underneath their spell.
Yeah.
Oh.
Kevin Brady for 5, attacking people that have a bias to defend her won't cut through tribal lines. It'll make them double down. She's appealed to emotion. Win with logic. Yes, Kevin.
Oh, and mind you too, like the craziest part. Okay,
Kevin.
So editing it all, I had a composer reach out to me. I have an entire score, like for the entire documentary, composed like original from somebody. Then a guy reached out to me and he's like, hey, any graphics that you need? So like when I talk about, a halfway house 6 blocks from the White House, he has a whole graphic where it goes through. Like there are so many people that are reaching out and they're like, just let me be a part of it. Like I don't even care. It's honestly mind-blowing, and it's really like inspiring to see how people really care. It's awesome.
Okay, yeah, they were mermaids. Song was to lure in the prey.
Yay, I was right. Thank you.
Isn't that on Oh Brother We're Out There? We're like, go to sleep, you little baby. We're like,
oh, that was a good movie.
Me and the devil make 3. Are those the mermaids where they
out thou?
Yeah, isn't that where they lure him?
Yeah.
Go to sleep,
but they got him also drunk though. They heard them singing and then they got him drunk.
Yeah. You and me and the devil make 3. Don't need nobody but the baby.
What you really need, Faran, is not a documentary, but a one-woman show.
Bitch, don't tempt me, okay?
Oh my God, Brittany brought down Balenciaga. She's next level. True, yeah. Wasn't she the first person to tweet about Balenciaga?
Oh, God.
Oh yeah, Brittany was the one behind that.
Mm-hmm. Siren song. I'm looking up siren song. Okay, God, I could go on with you guys another freaking 2 hours. I'm gonna wrap this up because I'm having Josie the redheaded libertarian on at 1:00. Join us for that if you're around. If not, Faran, where can people follow you?
Your dad's cell phone. No, Faran Balanced at or on YouTube, Twitter, all that fun stuff. So yeah, everything Fair and Balanced.
Okay, and one more from Eric. Thank you for the super chat. Beanie Boy had no problem going after the college women swimmers for not standing up to the trans swimmer. Sab pointed out Tim Toes Susan Wiki's line. Oh, well, of course, probably he doesn't want to get banned. Mark Wilkins, milk toast means one who has a meek, timid, unassertive nature, a person of meek or timid disposition.
Yeah, like you're just average.
That's him.
Like you're nothing. Like, yeah, you're milk toast.
That is him.
Now I'm craving toast. Tree of Logic. Where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, tree_of_logic. Twitter, that's me. And my website, treeoflogic.com.
Awesome. And we already have
Logic.
We already have a dad in the chat that might be interested.
Woo! Woo!
This is fun, guys. Thanks for joining me.
Is he a member of AARP, and does he get senior citizen specials on Saturdays? Because
get those coupons.
Call me.
Aw, this was fun, guys. You're the best. All right, we'll keep an eye on all this shit. Stay tuned. Stay positive, and we'll see you next time.